Hello, everybody. I'm Toast from Salt Shaker, and happy Halloween. Today is our proud premiere of our new podcast called The Salt Zone. And here with me is my trusty co host and the one and only Shroom from Salt Shaker.
Oh, wow.
Hello. Any words for the viewers?
Not really, other than Happy Halloween. And I
Oh,
hope everyone's having a good Halloween.
well, they should be having a good Halloween if they're watching the video.
Oh, God.
um, all right. So basically, the Salt Zone is our new podcast that will touch on topics like true crime, world mysteries, and like tales from the internet. And there's a lot more that we're obviously going to do. So now let's get into the episode. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So Shroom, congratulations. You've been hired to manage the radio system on the beautiful SS Silver Star, an American commercial ship. So,
Thanks.
congratulations. You did it. You were hired. You didn't know you wanted the
But
job, but you got it.
I didn't, but I didn't apply for
You
this.
did. I applied for you
But wait, why did you apply me for this?
because we needed a video. So today, on your first day as a radio operator, you set sail on the Indian Ocean. So as the day progresses, nothing too exciting happens on the radio. It's, just static. Sometimes it's like people trying to ask if they can go certain ways and blah, blah, blah. Until,
Well, I'll give you guys the direction if you subscribe.
oh my, until you start hearing a series of beeping.
Oh no. The phones. Are the phones beeping at me again?
Stop. Why do you have to bring that up? The beeping is Morse code. So
What?
you,
Morse code?
yeah. So you,
Am I
stop.
doing a
It
zombie
was Morse.
streak?
So you being fluent in Morse code, obviously,
What?
yeah. You start to decipher it, and the code reads as follows: We float, all officers, including the captain, dead in the chart room and on the bridge. Probably whole crew dead. A chill goes down
Oh.
your spine. As you run to go tell the captain, you hear the radio starts beeping again. It's another message. You slowly put your headphones on and you start to decipher it. It simply says, I die. You run to tell the captain, and with the help of British and Dutch listening posts, your captain triangulates the signal and sets a course to the area of the SOS. A couple hours pass. You hear commotion on the deck. You run out, and there you see it. Through the fog, a boat. The name slowly comes into view. You read it aloud, and you hear a name that will haunt you to the day you die. The SS Ourang Medan. So, welcome to the Ourang Medan. Well, the Ourang Medan was a cargo boat around
Oh.
1970s, 1940s actually. I wrote it down. Don't worry about it. So the whole story of the Ourang Medan was that a boat called the Silver. What was it? What did I just say? Silver Star. Found the boat because of a SOS signal that was broadcasted, and that's the one that was said in the story. So when the SOS was received, there it took a couple hours before the silver. It was the Silver Star and another boat that got there, but the other boat wasn't there in time to see what happened. It was the Silver Star that was closest. And they were in between the, I forgot what it was called, the Mandolin Strait or something like that. And that is a like trading route that connects certain parts of China and other locations in that area. So that would explain why we have an American boat out there. It was actually two American boats, the Silver Star, and the other one was also an American cargo ship, an American commercial ship. Sorry, they were both out there. So when the Silver Star arrived, they found the crew dead. Obviously, nothing too surprising. That was what was said in the SOS. But the way they were dead was what caused the giant mystery that revolves around the Medan to this day. So the crew was said to be frozen in place in a state of fear and panic as they were dead. Like they died as if they were defending themselves from something. There was even a dog that was also dead, mid snarl. And yeah, that's pretty terrifying to me. Like, dude, it just opens up a bunch of what ifs. You know what I mean? They went around, they searched the place. What? They went around and they searched the place, and as it was told in the SOS, the captain, everybody was dead. But just the way they were dead is what struck fear into the crew that was finding them. The crew of the Silver Star. So it was said that the dead had no injuries whatsoever, and that they were decaying abnormally fast. And the ship itself was completely undamaged. So no one knows how they died. There's no signs of anything going on. It's just the crew was decaying abnormally fast, and they were dead. So the crew that found them, the Silver Star, they said that even in the boiler room, like there was weird stuff going on in the boiler room. The boiler room was on, and it was 100 and something degrees in there, and they said that they got chills walking in. And so they were gonna bring the boat back to shore so they can investigate it further. And as they were tethering the boat, because they tether both the boats together and they drag them to shore, and then they would be able to actually investigate what happened, and do an autopsy on the bodies, see what cargo they were holding, stuff like that. But as it was about to be towed, there was smoke coming from below the decks, and a fire started. So the people that were the crew of the Silver Star had to hop onto their boat and chop the tow lines. And moments, maybe even seconds after they chopped the tow lines, the boat exploded. And it exploded with a force that lifted the Madame out of the water before it sunk down into the water. Like, I don't know what happened, but dude, just imagine. That's like saying a house blew up and the house itself ripped out of the ground and was like in the air for a couple seconds before like crashing back. Like, dude, imagine that. That's insane. But yeah, right now the Medan is at the bottom of the ocean. So we can't really investigate totally what happened. So yeah, any thoughts, Drew?
The ghost just really wanted the ship.
The ghost?
Dude,
Just
like
one singular ghost?
Probably. Probably just
Yeah.
one ghost, and they're just chilling. Like, I just want to take this with me. I'm gonna just take this home.
He was like, you know what? This is mine now. But yeah, so there's a couple theories going around of what could have happened. Um, I personally have no input. I did a lot of research, and I still cannot find a plausible explanation to what happened. And this was in the 40s, I think. I think it was like 1947 or something like that. Um, I'd have to look to make sure, but still, it's 2020. How is there not a single way we found out what happened? You know, that's what like makes me worried about things. Old stories and old mysteries and stuff like that that don't have a resolution at this point in time. Because it's just like, dude, people have been studying these things for years, and there's seriously not a single thing we could come up with. Like, obviously, with the Medan's case, the boat exploded and is underwater, so there's not much we can do. But some of the theories say that the cargo hold had potassium cyanide and nitroglycerin, and that could explain why the boat suddenly blew up, but it doesn't explain the crew. So that's the only rough thing, like the rough thread on that theory, is that there's no full definition on like what happened to the crew. Like, sure, okay, so if that is true, boom, we have an explanation. You know, boat blew up. That's it. Case closed. But what about how did the crew go from like, yo, we're vibing to like, hey, we
We're
might be like,
dying.
yeah, we're dying. Like, dude,
You're vibing till you're dying.
you really do be vibing until you're dead. But like, yo, like, it's just it's weird how they were decaying fast. Like, I get maybe, you know, if they could be dying in a state of fear or panic and stuff like that, like immobilized, and maybe it's due to a toxin or something like that that locks their bones in place or whatever. But like the fact that they were decaying at an abnormal rate, like, ooh, I don't know, man.
And there was no injuries.
Yeah, the fact that there was no physical injuries too. Like if it was a gas, you would expect maybe like something around the nose. Like maybe I don't know. I'm not super. I don't know too much about when it comes to like deadly toxins and gas. But like, if it was something that would cause that, don't you feel like you would? Don't you think you would see something in the entry points, like through the nose or the mouth, like some sort of discoloration or something
Yeah.
different? I guess I don't know.
Or just seeing like how the body would react to those things. Like
Yeah,
if something would shift.
yeah, it's just so weird to me. Another theory is that the cargo was from a Japanese military unit called the 731. And they were known for doing very terrible experiments to prisoners of war during World War II. So yeah, they would do it both to enhance their surgical abilities, but also they would do it so they could make better weapons for anti-personnel. So yeah, and I'm talking about some really messed up, some like movie evil villain shit. Like there's a story that they would tie people up to like stakes, or like I mean tie people up to like wooden poles and then put a grenade on them and would set it off to see how it would affect the body.
Jesus.
Yeah, they would do all kinds of crazy things like different chemical injections and stuff like that. So people are saying that maybe they had some chemicals from that unit in there, and like it like jostled the boat, jostled or something, and maybe like they had a chemical and it ruptured and it spread through the boat. And like, I guess that would explain a little bit, but like when you think about it logically, the their radio personnel was still alive for a certain amount of time.
Mm.
They knew that the captain and some people were dead. They were 100% on that fact. They wouldn't set out an SOS unless they knew that person, there was a couple people dead. The fact that they say maybe probably the whole crew is dead is like, okay, maybe he wasn't at least the last person. But the fact that he knew that some people were dead, how would he know that? You know what I mean? Like, he would have to go see for a fact or like be told. And then, but how would that gas spread so fast?
See, like my point of view on it is like, okay, both these stories seem like they only tell one side but not the other. Like, okay,
Exactly.
first of all, people are frozen and dead and decaying fast. And then there was a random explosion. So one story explains the other, but the other one doesn't explain the other problem. Like, the first one you said, oh, those chemicals would probably cause the explosion,
Hmm.
but doesn't explain how the people died. The second one you said explains how the people died, but it doesn't explain why it exploded.
Yeah, but also,
So,
how to the gas theory? That wouldn't explain how they're frozen in fear. Like maybe I get like, but then like also like above deck. How would that gas affect? Like there's wind on the sea. How would the gas then affect the people above deck?
yeah. So wait, even people above deck were dead too?
Everybody was dead. Everybody was dead on that boat. Below deck, in the like engine room, in the cargo hold, in everywhere. The
See, I mean, if it
captain's
was
quarters.
like a chemical or something that was meant to kill them, maybe they carried it from like below deck and carried it up to above deck. Maybe it wasn't like an instant
Well, it wasn't
reaction
supposed
to
to
it.
kill them. It was
Hmm.
like it was an accident. They said they were carrying it, like as in if they were shipping it somewhere. So maybe like that unit.
No,
I
I'm
don't know
saying like
a
the
lot.
people that walked down, like the people above deck maybe walked down into the ship and then caught whatever that chemical was, and it didn't kill them right
Uh,
away, and then they walked above deck.
but also that would indicate that it was like an infection, more or less. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Because if it was a chemical, yeah, I don't know. I just can't even put my mind around it because like gas, that's not how gas works. Like when you go above deck, the gas will have then dissipated because it's going all the way from the
Hmm.
cargo to above deck, and then also it's going above deck into open air. It would be maybe it would be concentrated for a little bit, but then dissipate, meaning there would at least be a handful of survivors.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I don't know.
the other thing that like picks my brain is that they were in fear, like they were being attacked by something. There's no like I don't understand how would they be in fear of being attacked if it was a gas? They wouldn't be like looking like they're physically defending themselves if it was a gas. And if it was a gas, you would see at least someone like maybe covering their mouth or like putting their shirt over their mouth because there's different tells when it comes to gaseous stuff. Like what happens when you walk into a room that smells bad? You cover your mouth. You cover your I mean your nose, right? Like it's just natural instinct to do things like that. So why would they look in terror if it was just something gaseous? If someone came out of the hole screaming that there's toxic gas, they're not going to look terrified. They're not going to look in absolute fear. They might look a little scared because it's like, oh shit, something's going to happen, but not like there is something physically in front of me.
See, another thing that gets me, what about the dog?
Yeah,
Like, it
The
didn't
dog,
even.
was mid snarl.
Like, yeah, like that's another thing that got me. Is like, so it's not even just affecting humans. It's affecting an animal.
Yeah. And when we test out toxins and stuff like that, usually you test it out on animals that are somewhat have the same bodily functions as humans. So that's why, like, if people test out different things that affect the stomach, I think it's like a pig's stomach is the closest to a human stomach, and then like monkeys are the closest when it comes to like the rest of our body and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it would affect an animal, which is kind of terrifying to think. Like, but also it's like the fact that the dog was mid snarl, like mid growl, like barking, like its mouth was open and stuff like that. I don't think like dogs are naturally, when it comes to certain animals, they're naturally prepared for disaster. So
Hmm.
a dog will bark before an earthquake and maybe before a thunderstorm and stuff like that. But like when it comes to like stuff like that, I don't think it would be barking as like at that moment. You know what I mean? Like maybe to
Yeah.
warn people, but like still, don't you think it
Or
would try
maybe
to?
he was in fear too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe I'm thinking it's barking at something.
Yeah.
And the last theory we have, it's not like it doesn't have evidence and stuff like that. Um, but it's that something more supernatural could happen. And that's where my mind at is at. I don't really know what to believe. I just know that there's a lot of stuff we can't explain. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just something we can't explain. And I feel like that's maybe something supernatural because the facts point to everything was undamaged. They were unharmed, but they were decaying fast and they were paralyzed in a
Unless this
state of
is
fear.
like, a professional like assassination, like some kind of operatives that did some kind of weird shit. Other than that, I don't see how this could be done.
Maybe they wanted like all the work from the Japanese the torture place. Like they wanted all their research and stuff. So they were like, "Yo, infiltrate the Medan, kill everybody, and take this stuff, and then blow it up." But I highly doubt because we don't even know what was on
It's like even if there
the thing.
like that's the thing, even if it was that, even if let's just say it was like some crazy unit that
Mm-hmm.
caused all this. The things that don't make sense to me is if it was a unit and
Mm-hmm.
they froze all these people, some people got the call out for an SOS and then another ship showed up. Are there still people on board? Like, if is that unit still on that ship when the explosion happens? Or did they just plant the bomb there? And, like, nobody
Hmm.
just found that? Like,
Yeah, and
it
then
doesn't
if
make
it
total sense to me.
also another thing that would like kind of disprove it is like why if it was a unit, why were everybody else paralyzed in fear? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like if you're getting attacked because these are sure they're cargo crewmen, but they're still pirates. They're still pirates in the water. They
Hmm.
wouldn't be in utter fear of a pirate. They would have the necessary means to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Because like to this day there's still pirates around the world and stuff like that. And if someone's going to rob you, you would make a different type you would have a different type of fear than the fear of something supernatural. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like someone's going to rob you and they're like, "Give me all your money." You don't scream in their face as if you just saw the devil himself. Just imagine like, "Give me your money." Ah, just yelling in their face.
Like no, you like when they're like they walk up to you and they're like, "Give me your money." You sit there, you look calm for like a minute,
And it
and
just,
then you just all of a sudden
yeah,
freak out.
burst into fear. Dude, that would be actually hilarious. I might do that next time I'm robbed. You know, because it happens so frequently. No,
But
but
like, see, the
what were you
thing
saying?
is, like, people when people get scared, they freeze in fear for like a split second.
Mm,
That's kind of like a natural reaction. So that
mm.
makes me wonder if there was like some kind of a chemical attack or something. Could it be something that's like using that part of the human body or the mind, like that reaction?
I
But
don't think we would
I,
have a chemical that would like trigger some sort. It's like it's not like scarecrow's fear toxin. Like that's not a real thing. Like we may
man.
have laughing gas and gas that'll put you to sleep, but I don't think there is something that will trigger like fear receptors specifically. But also like if it's a gas and everybody is frozen in place, I really don't think it was gas because like it would have to be something instantaneous. Because like
And
if
see,
hmm?
like another thing that this disproves it being a gas or any kind of chemical is that you would see this more often, but this is like the first kind, like first type of its kind. This
Well,
kind
you
of
wouldn't. We don't
outcome.
know if we've seen this though. Things get buried, like stories get buried, or we're not well educated on what happens around the world. Like
Yeah.
maybe there is testing on a chemical that can put you in like a state of fear, or maybe there's a chemical that can freeze you in place. But also, like with the chemical idea, still going on the chemical idea, because there's not much we could say about the
Yeah, this
explosion.
is the only thing we can really
Yeah,
go
like
by.
pick on. Yeah, the chemical thing is like if it's instantaneous. I mean, it can't be instantaneous because one guy survived, but it can't be a leak because then people wouldn't be in a state of fear. You know what I mean? If it was a leak, you hear people are dying, you're not gonna be in a state of fear like that escalation for that long. Maybe
Yeah.
for a split, if anything, a second. You know, you're like, oh my god, something's gonna happen, and then what? You jump overboard. You get a raft. You dip out. I'm outie like grouty, dude. Like I ain't sticking around. What? In then in that case, they wouldn't have any time to do anything. Like it would have to be instant. But also, it can't be because of the guy. Like
The guy.
the guy. Like it would have to be an overtime thing, but people wouldn't be frozen like that.
And see, if it was like an overtime, let's say this chemical doesn't hit you right away, it's just an overtime thing. Everybody would freeze at random times, though, because not everybody would get it instantly,
Mm-hmm.
I would assume. So,
Maybe there were people frozen differently, but all I heard was that most people were in a state of fear,
yeah. So
but
maybe
like
if it was a
exaggerated.
chemical and the person that did report it was somebody that caught it late.
Mm-hmm.
See, it just doesn't, I don't know.
But also when you think about things, it's like how does it go late to a radio area, but not the captain? And like maybe the boiler room is close to the cargo. I don't know, man. I don't know boats. I don't know this boat either. But like if the captain is dead and they said like the captain and something else are dead, right? Said let me go through officers. All officers, including the captain, are dead in the chart room and the bridge. They're dead in two locations. So it got from cargo to a chart room and a bridge, but this guy in the radio place is not dead by then. You know what I mean? So that's kind of wondering about that part of it.
It
Because
like depends probably like where everybody walked around in the ship too. But
Mhm.
you would assume the captain would just normally stay in his area most of the time. He wouldn't leave.
Yeah, and
But
assuming the captain is on a more higher ground, like when I think of a ship, I think the captain is at a height above everybody else because he has to see
mhm,
out into the ocean.
yeah. So I don't understand.
Also, it was around 1947, so I was right. It was around the 40s. June
Mm,
1947 to early February 1948. Like that's the around the time.
mm,
But yeah, like everybody's thinking that's what it could be. People are saying that it could be like carbon monoxide poisoning,
mm.
but like we said, people wouldn't be in a state of fear, frozen in fear as they died. Also, chemicals, not all chemical, like carbon monoxide poisoning, I've heard of stuff like that. You usually go kind of like insane a little bit um before it happens or whatever. Maybe that would cause fear, I don't know, but also it wouldn't cause the decaying. You know what I mean?
Unless like going back to the whole chemical like
Mhm.
unit thing, unless somebody modified like carbon monoxide, like made it stronger, I guess, made it so it would kill people quicker. I don't know. I just
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
like what happens if somebody took carbon monoxide and like tried to make that into
A weapon.
like a worse, yeah, like a weapon. But I'm
But we
just like
have
I'm trying to
carbon monoxide like machines. There's machines, or not like a machine. It's like in every house. There's a fire alarm and then a carbon monoxide alarm. It knows when there is carbon monoxide on it. Blah, 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 blah. Carbon monoxide in the air, so that wouldn't even be like a valid way to kill people. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because there's things that indicate what's going on, like the poisoning and everything. So you can't use that specifically because it would be
Yeah.
easily stopped. You would easily know, like, hey, there's carbon monoxide in the air.
And I don't see how they would be able to modify it to make it so it can't be detected. But I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're starting with a base of carbon monoxide, there has to be a way for it to be tested.
Mhm.
It would have if they were modifying any chemical that was supposed to do this specific thing. It would have to be something non-detectable by what I
Mhm.
guess the only thing detected is a carbon monoxide, but still, like, if this was planned for war, correct? So it would have to be something
Mhm.
non-radioactive. It would have to be something not carbon monoxide. Like we have a bunch of sensors and stuff like that. So this is for war and for chemical warfare. If this theory is what it's, basing on this theory, everything's for war. We would have sensors that tell us what most things are. So it would have to be of something that like can't be detected by sensors. It would have to be some rare chemical to
Yeah.
base whatever you're modifying.
Mhm. So like I don't know. I feel like that's the only theory you can go by. That's the only like theory that makes sense is if it was like a war tactic, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
or like just something modified, but you won't really know.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, man. I mean, we didn't really go much into the paranormal side of it. But thinking of it logically, if like without paranormal stuff, that would probably be the closest thing you could possibly get to making sense out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Is
if
that
it
it's
was
some
just like
sort of chemical.
if it was some kind of chemical, maybe like a war unit
Mm-hmm.
was sent to do that.
What
That
do you
is
mean?
like the
Sent to
only.
take out them?
I mean, either. Well, I'm saying like just part of war.
Uh
This
huh.
was just this was just something.
That they were
Uh,
holding. They were like transporting.
yeah.
Okay.
Either it was part of that was planned to happen. I don't see this being an accident. Like if this
Hmm.
was part of being like a war tactic, I don't see that being much of an accident unless the chemical was, explosive. But the thing is, what doesn't make
Yeah.
sense to me, if the chemical could, could explode, why didn't it do it sooner? If this thing has already reached throughout the whole ship,
Mm-hmm.
why didn't the ship blow up sooner? Why did it blow up right in that moment when those people were there?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
if it was a bomb on the boiler, or like wherever the hell it blew up from,
Mm-hmm.
maybe if it was a war tactic, they were planning on taking two ships in one explosion. So they waited for the other ship to kind of tether together.
Mm-hmm.
So then they would set off the explosion. But I don't know.
But also, it would be that would be a gamble. See, if they wanted to blow up ships, it would be a gamble because you don't know what ship is coming. You don't know if it's an American ship. It just happened to be an American ship, and we were at war with them, but around those times. But it could be a German ship, a Russian ship. They were allied with them, I think. I don't remember. I don't remember too much. Um, I didn't study for this part. You know what I mean? I will spend the last couple of days reading on the Medan, not war, because it never changes. But if they were planning for something, it would be a gamble because you don't know what's coming. If that's what they wanted, if it was just a chemical they were making and it was an accident, how did the ship blow up? Maybe it. I would think maybe I was thinking maybe it gets the boiler and it blows up, but like also it took them a while to get there. It would have blown up beforehand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It goes back to saying if this chemical was explosive, this whole thing would have happened a lot sooner.
Mm-hmm.
So that part doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. This is, see, we're kind of going back to that question again, where one side makes sense but the other doesn't,
It
and you can only
was
make sense out of one but not the other.
it was something supernatural. Let's be honest.
My God.
Medusa came down, was like, "What's up? I'm alive again. It's your
Hey, what's
boy.
up?
Hey, what's
Hey,
up?
what's up? So just, it's like, I'm back.
I'm back.
I know
Guess
y'all
who's back?
forgot about me.
Don't call it a comeback.
Hey, it's your girl.
Oh my god! But like, I mean, I don't know. It's something non-explanatory. I think it was something evil.
Like, I don't know, man. So, I feel like that's something we could agree on the logical side of it being
It's improbable.
just an attack. Like, I feel like that was probably the only closest thing we can come
What, that it
to
was
understanding.
somewhat of like on purpose is what you
Yeah,
mean?
like if it was somewhat of an attack, I don't know. I feel like that makes the most sense to me, at least. I
Yeah,
feel like
I
that's what
don't
it
know.
could be.
I don't
But
really have any thoughts on it because like I can't explain it. I can't mentally think of like something that solves all aspects of the story. You know what I mean? I could think of maybe one to two things, like maybe the boiler overheated because no one was managing it, and then boom, it blew up. But that doesn't solve for
Mhm.
everything else. Or like I could
But
think
the
of a
thing is though,
gas.
that doesn't make much sense to me too, because if it overheated, why do people say it was cold in there?
Okay, well, no, I'm just saying as an example. That's obviously not a real
I
theory.
know.
It's just as an example. Like something happened, boom, it blew up. I can put that to peace. Put that
Mhm.
to ease in my mind because no one was managing it, or if there was something, like that, like. That eases my mind. But then I can't explain the other half, and then that is where I can't really devise of something that would make sense. Like maybe if it was an attack, why would they be frozen in fear if they were like they're like cargo men? I can't think of a I can't think of a grown ass man that would be paralyzed in complete and utter fear by another human being. I just can't think of it. Maybe like maybe if the person that rolled up was like Jack the Ripper, like like hey, I'm Jack the Ripper, I like, and he maybe got like in a motor accident and like gas was all over his face and it lit on fire. Like if Jack the Ripper looked like Harvey Dent, like maybe I'd be like, okay, I would kind of be afraid.
Scarecrow
Like
just showed up.
Scarecrow showed up, the Harvey
He's just
Dent
like, hey,
showed up.
what's up?
Yeah, Two Face was just like, yo, me my other face is now Scarecrow.
What?
Like
You know what? I'm just Scarecrow now.
I'm alpha scary. You know what I mean? Like if it was something like that, like yeah, okay. But if it was just an attack, they wouldn't be in fear. Gas doesn't make you scared. Like
Yeah.
to that
I don't
extent.
know.
There's nothing I can put a pin on that eases my mind at night. That's like maybe this happens and but like no, there's really nothing I can
Every
explain.
time I go to sleep,
So
I see that shit.
now you are. So how was your first day? Day two, the Kraken. Oh man,
That cracker.
the Kraken. Maybe it was the Kraken. But he doesn't like destroying the ship,
Maybe.
so he like patted it on the side. Like you stay here. I just kill everybody else.
You know, the Kraken just showed up and just scared everybody. He didn't even attack them.
Yeah, like there is a gas that I do know that like could kill people, but I don't know if it. Maybe it's like I know it's like water based, but I don't know if it could send people in a state of fear. Is sulfuric acid. I know there's like that's a natural occurring gas that could kill people, but I don't think
Hmm.
it puts people in a state of fear. Also, don't think it's out in the fucking middle of the ocean. Like, there would be a lot more reports about that. And then also, it's supernatural.
Oh my god. Let's just get into the supernatural side of
I
it.
want it
Sounds
to
like
be
you want to.
supernatural.
You really want to go into that conversation, so let's
Yeah,
just talk about
because
it.
you can't explain it. What if, like, you can't explain it, man? Like, I mean, obviously, there's no reasoning for the supernatural. Sometimes there's no. Sometimes you don't need a reason to kill.
Okay.
Jot that down in your little notebook.
Toast.
I want
I don't
that
know
on
if
a
that's a
shirt.
good sign.
Sometimes you don't need a reason to kill. And like you're a ghost, bro. Like what else is there to do?
What else is there to do? Hmm.
I
I'm
mean,
just gonna straight up kill some motherfuckers.
okay. Well, I mean,
Because I
honestly,
feel
if
like
I
it.
was a ghost, if I was a ghost, I don't think I would kill anybody. For the matter of fact, is like what's next? They come kick my ass as
What's
a ghost.
next?
Like, I just killed
They're
this
gonna come
man.
back.
He's gonna come back as a ghost and beat me to death again. Like,
I just want to imagine people have a Ouija board and they're like, um, they're like, they're like, are you a good ghost or something like, oh, are you not gonna harm anybody? And you just put on there says, fuck you,
okay,
fuck you, bitch, you're
dude.
gonna die.
Imagine just like we're in a haunted house. There's ghosts moving everything around, and then you just stay. I like standing there in the middle of like the foyer where it's just all the ghosts. I'm like, yo, what are you gonna do? Kill me? I'm gonna go come back and kick your ass. Like I just don't
I'll come
imagine
back, I'll do
what
it
a
again.
ghost could do. I mean, it could like maybe like, oh, I scare them, you know. But he's not gonna
Yeah.
kill them, because then they're just gonna come back and beat the shit out of that ghost. I'd kill myself to
See,
fight a ghost.
see, as a ghost, this is what you do. You kill them, and then you just book it.
You book it
So when they come,
out into the
yeah,
middle of the
so when they
ocean.
come back and they're looking around, they just see you running off.
They see one little ghost out in the middle of the ocean. Oh my god. That's what I would do in
Oh,
a
that's
horror
the
movie.
that's the that's the reason why the ghost did it. He blew up the ship because they were probably kicking his ass. So he's like, "Fuck, I'm gonna blow up the ship," and then he went into the ocean. He's like, "Okay, I live down here now."
What? What about the other ghosts? Did the ghost
They all
die in
probably
the
got lost. It's
explosion?
dark as fuck down there. They're like,
But
"Damn,
he didn't get
look
lost.
at all them sea critters."
Oh, dude. Sea monsters. Here we go.
They saw the Kraken. They're all like, "Bro, that's pretty
Ooh,
cool though."
but, like, yeah, I don't know, man. Couldn't be a ghost, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's just, I can't put a pin on anything that would explain it. Why would a ghost do it? Or, like, some
Um,
supernatural force. Like, just to do it?
I mean,
Maybe.
that's pretty much what they do. They kind of just do it to do it.
No, well, no, like they do it to like protect where they are. How would you like it if I like busted into your house with a
How would you
film
like that
crew?
bus?
How would you like if I busted into your house with a film crew and pretended like you weren't there, right? It was just like, there was a shroom that used to wander these parts and everything. Like, then ghosts were
All you
like,
see is
oh,
a
I'll scare
drawing
him.
of blood in the wall saying subscribe.
Subscribe. Like I assume like they do it to protect uh what's it called? Do it to protect where they are. Like, maybe like to scare people away from locations. But like what? There's just one ghost out in the middle of the ocean. He's like, this plot line, this is my house. Like
I mean, maybe whatever they were carrying was like something haunted, and he was like, "Bro, I didn't even want to be here."
it's like wakes up and he's like, hey, the fuck is going on?
What the fuck? Why am I out of shit? Alright, I'm gonna blow this.
Blow this shit up.
I'm gonna
Just,
blow this up. Like,
just
oh
I
no, no.
imagine like, I just imagine a ghost walking around like on the top of the boat, like I'm gonna blow this motherfucker up. Like what?
He's
Everybody's
just looking
already
at the
dead.
water, seeing like a pretty view. It's just like, wow, I'm gonna blow this up.
I'm gonna blow this shit out, dude. He's a fish in the water. I'm gonna blow you up. Like better not
That
not
was
coming
actually
to
the
me.
real reason. He just blew up the ship to kill that fish.
Oh my god, dude! It was
That
like
fish looked at him wrong.
yeah, he was like, dude, come here, fishy. And then he just blew up the ship right next. It's the most alpha move ever. Like, oh, you're gonna kill one guy, right? So what you do is you get a bus, and you don't hit him with the bus or anything. No, you plant an explosive on the bus, right? And then you put you put the explosive 2 blocks down from his house. So you blow up the bus. It causes then a chain reaction of collapsing and burning houses to kill that one guy. Like that's like alpha move. Like I'm gonna blow up this entire boat to kill that one fish.
Gave him, maybe he died by a fish. And he was like, I'm gonna blow up the ocean.
Maybe what they found on the boat was too much for someone to handle. Maybe they were like, "Yo, we'll just say it blew up by itself as we were leaving." But what if they blew it up? The Silver Star.
What?
I didn't see any
Dun,
theories
dun,
about that,
dun.
dude. What if it was a double cross?
Oh my
What if the
god.
Silver Star was like, yo, we can't let the real world see this. This is too much. That still plays into the supernatural. What if it was like a very, very like a Ouija board that works really well?
You just use the Ouija board and be like, bro, can you blow it up? It just says yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I want to be a ghost that has explosive powers. What? Just walk
Oh my
into
god.
like the ghost club. I'll blow this shit up. Dude, you okay, wait, a little off topic. You think there's like ghost places? Like ghost like
Ghost hangouts, ghost
yeah,
clubs.
the ghost club, dude. I'm gonna go down to the ghost bar and vibe. Like, what if places that were demolished become ghost hangouts? Like they break down an old like ma and pop bar to make a highway, and then that bar becomes a ghost hangout.
So that's how car accidents happen. Because I drove into the bar.
Oh my god. Like those random car accidents you can't explain, where they like the car just swerves, it's they drove into like the ghost bar.
And they're just like, get this shit out of here. And they just shoved it out.
Can then you get ghost cars. It stonks, dude. Wait. I
So
might be
where's the
onto
ghost
something.
guns? Are we just having a ghost war too?
Oh my god. Ghost war. Ghost war never changes. What about
They
ghost
have
music?
nukes and everything.
What is ghost music?
Ghost music.
Maybe it's like artists that have died, their music turned into ghost music. The first ghost that listens to Beethoven. Oh, yo, what the fuck? This shit hit different.
My god.
Imagine being the first ghost to hear music.
What?
I don't know, man. It just be like that sometimes. Ghosts just sometimes be like that. They don't.
Ghost
Sometimes you don't need a reason to kill.
Oh my god.
But yeah, to wrap everything up, stay away from the water. That shit's scary.
It's awful scary out there.
It's awful scary out there. You could just stick in your room, hunker down, and not have to worry about this or any of the other stories and things that will come into the future. Maybe.
Is there a ghost corona?
Ghost Corona? Later. You can't say... you're talking about the beer, right? Or else we're going to get
Yes.
dismonetized. You heard that, YouTube? The beer. Ghost beer. So yeah,
At the bar.
at the bar, at the Ghost Bar. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. There will be some more stuff coming soon. So happy Halloween. And as a little Halloween treat from us, stick around and you'll see a video come out on our channel. And what is this video gonna be, Shroom?
Ghost bar.
No. God damn it.
Wait.
We're vlogging
No.
at a ghost bar. You'll get to see a new gameplay of a game that's not new, but we've never played it. Well, the Shroom's played it a little bit, but not entirely. The game, the Man of the Medan, which is
The man.
the man, which is a
Of the Medan.
of the Madame, which is a reference to the story that we told today. So, if you
And I
enjoyed
hate
boats, I actually don't know if it's about boat, but I know the name is the same. So yeah,
about
come
the
check
bar.
that out. It's about the Ghost Bar. Me and Shroom will be there. Hopefully, we see you guys there. If you like the video, make sure to give it a like. You like our content, make sure to subscribe. Top right, there's going to be a subscribe button. Why wouldn't you press that? Top left is a spooky video.
Crazy, it's right there.
You look at that, dude. It's so scary. Look at that video right there on the left. It's so scary, dude. Like,
Awful spooky.
it's
Oh,
awful
no.
scary, dude. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you guys in the Madame.